Welcome to 7th grade science curriculum presentation with Mr. Coe. We've been asked to do this in less than 5 minutes, which means I will go through this very quickly, and then I will follow up with you with numerous videos, newsletters, messages about all the fine details at a later time. Before I move on, you'll notice me in the bottom right corner. Here I am. Hello. And in the upper right-hand corner, waving at you, is Mrs. Byrne, and she deserves much of the credit for the wonderful things that you will see and experience this year. We've also added Mrs. McCubbin to our roster in 7th grade science, so that's exciting as well. What we'll cover, quickly give you background so you know who it is you're handing your child off to. We will then peek into Skyward in Google Classroom, just the main points to get us started. Quick mention about grades. The many resources available to you, which you will want to take advantage of, hopefully at some point. Quick peek at the Amplify curriculum, assessment and grading for a few seconds before closing again inside that 5-minute mark. So here I am. I've been doing some sort of working with kids for 33 years, 27 of them as a certified teacher. I have over 10 years of college. I have 5 endorsements. I have a degree in biology, a degree in chemistry, a master's degree in educational technology, et cetera, et cetera. I've taught 6th through 12th grade. I am 51 years old. I have been married for 23 years. I have 2 children. I've had more than 3,600 students come through my doors, and 2 of them have been my children. My 14-year-old son is at Cavallaro this year, and my 18-year-old daughter is a graduate of Lake Stevens High School last year, and she is now off to Northeastern University in the fall. Skyward. For me to know something about you, I need your information to be correct in Skyward. So when you log into Skyward, please make sure your guardian information is correct, especially things like email and phone number. If not, please contact me or the district or the front office to get that corrected. You also have the opportunity to receive daily or weekly summaries through Google Classroom. If you have a student who's already been using Google Classroom, you may have accepted an invitation in the past. You're already in the system. If not, you will receive an invitation email through Google from me that will invite you in. You will only have to do this once, and you will have all of the class information there for all classes. And we will reach out to you soon about that. To do so, I need to see that I have got your email in the system under the Guardians. And if I don't, again, you will hear from me soon. What you get in those summaries is an email, either daily or weekly, whichever you prefer. And you can see anything that's been missing, that's due up soon, topics that have been posted, notice from all the classes that your child is enrolled in. Grades. When you do get into Skyward, the biggest question we get is, how is it that I have the grade I have, or why does my child have the grade they have? And one of the things that seems to always be forgotten is if you click on the actual letter grade, it will expand out. So you can see each of the separate activities that make up that grade. We have a public website. All of the materials we use is made public to you through this website. We are currently updating it for this fall. Down at the bottom, you might notice there's a little icon of Mr. Drewby. If you had Mr. Drewby has moved on to Texas. And so that will be replaced by Mrs. McCubbin very soon. Google Classroom, as I mentioned, is how we deliver all of the assignments for students. This is how you know what we're doing when. The actual work, though, is done in Amplify. So there is a completely digital curriculum that we will be accessing that cover 9 different topics. Why do we use Amplify? Well, Amplify happens to be the highest rated curriculum in the United States at this time, as evaluated by the Next Generation Science Standards groups. So that's a huge positive. If you want to know more about that, it is actually the Lawrence Hall of Science that writes the curriculum. Basically, there are a bunch of PhDs out of Cal Berkeley. You may have heard of them. So no wonder it's stellar stuff. The idea behind it is science argumentation. Every single unit, the kids are making claims, gathering evidence, and reasoning their way to a choice. So it is so different than when I grew up, where it was read chapters, answer questions. Everything was factual. Everything was memorization. There were vocab tests. There were all sorts of, what recall sort of stuff. This is not like that. Students construct all of their knowledge together as a group, as a whole class, led by me. And in the end, their arguments are evaluated either both verbally and in writing. There are tests they take. There is a pre, mid, and post for every unit where they do ask them informational questions, but also analytical questions. The units for the 7th grade you can find online in the Amplify Science. We're always going to hop into Clever and then click on Amplify and then enter each of the units, and you can see them all on your own anytime you choose. I've already gone over 5 minutes, so I'm really going to push it. Each of the units is divided into chapters. You'll see there are 4 chapters. Each one of those chapters has a role. Chapter 1 introduces the phenomenon that the argumentation will be about. Chapter 2 and 3, different levels of evidence reasoning. We revisit our claims, edit our answers, and then finally in chapter 4, we evaluate a unique situation to see what we've learned. If you go into one of those units, you will see they're divided into chapters, and each of those chapters into lessons, and the lessons are numbered. So in this case, we have a chapter 1, and this chapter has 4 lessons in it. If you enter any of those lessons, you'll also notice that the lessons are numbered. They are stepped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You will see the T on your screen. That is my screen, and the kids don't see that. That's a teacher step. So they can progress through freely through the lesson anytime they want. And as they do, here's a screen of a single step. This is the activity they would do, and then lower on the screen that you don't see here, they are to provide some answers or an explanation and then hand that in. That work is always available in Amplify. It never goes away. It doesn't come to me and then gone from you. So you can actually go on with your child into Amplify and see all the work they do. It'll be there for as long as they're a student. And remember, they're building a case. And so it is much like in the courtroom where we're trying to decide if somebody's guilty or not guilty. In this case, we're deciding between one claim, another, or sometimes a third. We are gathering facts as evidence to come up with a best answer and then reasoning our way to that answer. But it is important to know that there are no clear right answers in terms of answer key sorts of answers. There are multiple claims that can be supported, and students are evaluated on how well they support that claim with evidence. So quick recap, it's all about claim, evidence, and reasoning. They choose from at least 2 claims. We spend 2 to 3 chapters gathering evidence from articles, videos, models, activities, and then in the end, they explain how all that ties together to come up with a solution. And again, it's important to remember all of our actual work is done in Amplify. Even though we use Google Classroom to organize our time, the students are typing their answers into Amplify, and that's where you'll find their work. It's evaluated fairly similar or simply in terms of standardized grading, a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. And if you think about it, a 1 is just, you're not there yet. A 2 means you're almost there. A 3, you made standard, and 4, you have complete mastery. You've exceeded the standard and are ready to move on. So that's it. Again, I definitely went over. I'm into the 8-minute mark. I apologize for that. I knew it was going to be impossible, but you got to try. You got to set goals. Again, I will reach out with numerous communication methods to you in the near future, but that is our curriculum presentation for you. Please reach out to me if you need anything more, and thank you.